بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا كثيرا، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. الحمد لله الذي أنزل إلينا أشمل الكتاب وأرسل إلينا أفضل الرسل وجعلنا خير أمة أخرجت للناس، فله الحمد والشكر على هذه النعم. اللهم لك الحمد حمدا كثيرا. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Firstly, we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We thank Him, we seek His guidance, His help, His mercy, His forgiveness. Whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses with guidance, no one can misguide. And whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala leaves to go astray, due to the person turning away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then no one can guide. I would like to thank the Soas Islamic Society for inviting me here. And I have a lot of, I admire Soas University a lot. It was my first choice to study in Soas when I was applying to go to university. I wanted to study Arabic and Islamic studies. But literally last minute, I changed my mind. I changed the subject to anthropology. And to cut a long story short, the reason for that was because I wanted to study Islam through the traditional, authentic sources, like the traditional way. So I decided to go abroad instead and study Islam under Muslim scholars. My plan is still to perhaps one day come back to Soas. So our topic today in regards to Mental Health Week, it is Mental Health Week, and we are talking about dua, and in particular we are talking about the etiquettes or the manners, the method that we should use when we are making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So firstly, before I speak about the adab, the etiquette of dua, I want to speak very briefly about who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who is Allah, the one we are calling to, praying to, worshipping, making dua to. And one of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has 99 names. These could be names that describe Him, these can be attributes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, man ahsaha dakhal al-jannah. Whoever comprehends and understands it will enter paradise. What this means is whoever truly knows Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, tries to know who Allah is, of course he will have such a close relationship with Allah, because the more you know someone, the more closer you are. So when you know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you become very, very close to Him. So whoever reaches that station will enter paradise because he's so close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But one of His names is Al-Khaliq. He is Al-Khaliq. He is our Creator subhanahu wa ta'ala. And another name of His is He is Al-Razzaq. He is the provider, the sustainer. Another name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Musawwir. I'm just going to choose these three names because we can't go through 99 names today, and just comprehend a bit. As for Al-Khaliq, right now, you can close your eyes if you want. Let's try this exercise. I try it from time to time. Right now, we are in Alumni Lecture Hall in Soas University in central London. We are all, right now, in comparison to the whole of central London, small dots. If there is like a drone or a bird's eye view of us right now, we will all look like small dots in comparison to central London, if not being invisible. And central London is a small dot in comparison to England. England is a small dot in comparison to the whole world, the whole planet Earth. Planet Earth is a small dot in size in comparison to the sun. The sun is a small dot in size in comparison to a star. And a star is a small dot in comparison to another star. And in this universe, there is around 200 billion stars that makes one galaxy. 200 billion stars equals to one galaxy. And there are over 200 billion galaxies. All of these galaxies is like a ring in a desert in comparison to the first heaven above it that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created. And the first heaven is a ring in a desert in comparison to the second heaven above it. And the second heaven is a ring in a desert in comparison to the third heaven above it. And the third heaven is a ring in a desert in comparison to the fourth heaven above it. And so on and so forth until we reach the seventh heaven. The seventh heaven is a ring in a desert in comparison to the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the throne, the magnificent throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All of this that we just described and mentioned is the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The question is, how insignificant and small are we as human beings in comparison to the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the other creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So how small are we, and how azim, how great is our Khaliq, our Lord, our Creator. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because when we make dua, you can open your eyes now. When we make dua, check your phones, brothers, yeah? No one took you or anything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is al-Khaliq. When we make dua, and before that, what is dua? Dua, some of the scholars said, is إظهار غاية الافتقار إلى الله, meaning you are showing your iftiqar, your neediness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what dua is. And there are two types of dua. Dua ibadah and dua mas'ala. We're making dua, worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when we see the prophets and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this is the most du'as that they make. That they are praising Allah, they are speaking about their own shortcomings, their own need to Allah, asking Allah for guidance, asking Allah for forgiveness. This is what the prophets were doing. And then the second type of dua is dua al-mas'ala. Dua al-talab, requesting and asking. So, al-iftiqar ila Allah, when we are showing our neediness and our dependency on to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is what dua is. And when we remember that He is al-Khaliq of all things, and He is al-Musawwar, He is the one who fashioned everything, the birds, the trees, and He is al-Razzaq, everything, every single thing that we use comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right now we are breathing oxygen. We can't last for a minute or two or more without oxygen that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided for us. This is the rizq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Comes from the trees Allah created it. Our clothes comes from different plants, animals that Allah created. Our accommodation, everything that we are using every single day, every single second, in fact, is provision, rizq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So He is al-Razzaq. So He is able and capable to fulfill our needs and answer our requests and give us what we want. So there is a difference when we are asking Allah and asking people. Because if you're not gonna, the way we are created to be dependent. Either we are dependent on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is perfect, who is capable of giving us all things, or we're going to be dependent on people who are not perfect, who are they themselves in need, incapable. And people, once you ask them more than 3 or 4 times, they will get fed up. They will have enough. They won't be able to fulfill all your needs. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is able to fulfill all of our needs. So there is only 2 choices. There is no third. Either we will be dependent on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or others. Some of the virtues or importance of dua, before we speak about the etiquettes, is dua. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, "Ad-du'a huwa al-ibadah." Ad-du'a huwa al-ibadah. That indeed, dua is essentially worship. What this means, the scholars said, that the most important form of ibadah, worship, is dua. And that if you want to summarize what is ibadah, worship, it is dua. And even our salah is dua. When we are praying, making sujood, we are making istighfar, subhana rabbi al-azim, subhana rabbi al-azim, subhana rabbi al-azim, sami' Allahu liman hamida. All of these are asking Allah for forgiveness, for guidance. When we are reading Surah Al-Fatiha, all of Surah Al-Fatiha is dua. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen, ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, maliki yawmiddin, iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Ihdina, this sentence, this verse is a dua. Guide us to the straight path. Everything before this verse is an introduction, is a preparation to this dua. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Which straight path? Sirat al-ladina an'amta alayhim, ghayr al-maghdud alayhim, wala ad-dallin. Then we say Ameen, because it's a dua. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to make dua. He subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي وَلْيُؤْمِنُوا بِي لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ. So that's number one, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves and wants us to make dua to Him. He says, if my servants ask you about me, indeed I am qareeb, extremely close. I answer the call of the caller if he calls me. فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي وَلْيُؤْمِنُوا. Let him call to me. Allah is asking us, let him call to me and let him believe in me, لَعَلَّهُمْ, so that they can be in the straight path. So they can be in the straight path. He subhanahu wa ta'ala also says, أَمَّنْ يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ وَيَكْشِفُ السُّوءَ وَيَجْعَلَكُمْ خُلَفَاءِ الْأَرْضِ أَإِلَهٌ مَعَ اللَّهِ قَلِيلًا مَا تَذَكَّرُونَ. Is He not the one who hears and answers and helps the needy person, the desperate person? إِذَا دَعَا, when He asks Him, and He lifts up or removes the evil, and He makes you khulafa, He makes you caretakers in the world. Is there any other Lord besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And this happens, I can guarantee that this probably happened to all of us. That there was a time when we were stuck. There's no way out. We are in a difficult situation. We're in trouble. No one, we know for sure, no one can help us. No one can help us get out of this terrible situation that we're in. And then what do? We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We become muttar. We become desperate and in need. So, أَمَّنْ يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ. Who is the one who answers this person? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَيَكْشِفُ السُّوءَ, and He lifts that difficulty away. The problem is, many of us, that few 10 minutes, 5 minutes before exam time, when you didn't study 100%. You ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then a miracle happens, you pass. Allahu a'lam how you passed, but you passed. This was from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You were muttar. But the problem is, what do we do after? Do we forget about this? Do we only ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we are in need, and we forget about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we are not in need? وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ أُدْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. There's many verses, but these are some verses that shows that Allah wants us to make dua to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number 2, dua is sila. Sila means connection. It's a rope between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whoever cuts this sila, this rope, he cuts the connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to every day communicate with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the way to communicate with Allah is through dua. The way to become closer to Allah, get to know Allah, connect with Allah, is through dua. And the mu'min, the believer, once he makes frequent dua, he develops a strange, beautiful relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And dua is not just calling to Allah when you need something. You're just speaking to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala all the time. Just before you enter the lecture, say, Ya Allah, make today beneficial for me. Ya Allah, make me learn something beneficial in the lecture. You come out of the lecture, you feel good because you learned something. You say, Ya Allah, this was from you. Ya Rab lakal hamd. Oh Allah, thank you for answering me. In every single thing that you do, even, this might sound strange, when my nephew and niece, they ask me to watch something with them, I make a dua before I watch it. I say, Allahumma inni as'aluk ilmun nafi'a. Oh Allah, make it beneficial knowledge. Even though it's cartoons and very annoying cartoons, but I end up learning something from it. With everything, we should make intentions and make dua, because, like we said, a dua ibadah. It is worship. Every time we make dua, we are worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So a dua sila. Dua is a connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number 3, this is the virtues of dua section. We didn't get into etiquettes. So number 3 of the virtues of dua is, if you want to be far from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or if you want Allah not to be happy with you, don't make dua. Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in the hadith Tirmidhi, on the authority of Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala an, "Man lam yas'alillah yaghdab alayh." Whoever doesn't ask Allah, Allah is not happy with him. Allah wouldn't be happy with him. Who can tell me why? Why would Allah not be happy with him if he doesn't make dua? Fadl. Ahsan, this is the exact answer I was looking for. Because when you're not asking, you think, I am self-sufficient. I am not in need of asking. What is this? What do we call this? Kibr. This is arrogance. And Allah doesn't, la yuhibbul mutakabbirin. Allah doesn't like arrogant people. So making dua actually humbles us. It shows us, it's i'tiraf. It is admitting that we are insufficient, imperfect people, incapable. We need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to survive, and we need Him in our affairs. Number 4 is dua, as described, is silah al-mu'min. It is the weapon, the shield, the guard of the believer. This is what will protect him. This is what will open doors for him. This is his keys in his life. Okay, as for the etiquettes, how do we make dua? How should we make dua? The first etiquettes is believing with certainty the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His names and His attributes. So it's a matter of tawheed. Who can tell me what tawheed is? Tawheed, brothers and sisters. What does tawheed mean? Come on, Soas, I heard the intellectual people. I changed my mind, I'm not coming to Soas. Tawheed, brothers and sisters. No, not yours one. I know you know this one. Yes,
so
sister.
I'm thinking it must come from the word wahid, one.
Yes.
So wholesome, one, something like that.
Naam, you're right. Soas has a good Arabic department, mashallah. And that is the correct way. When in Islamic terms, we define it both ways. The Arabic linguistic meaning, and then we connect it with the actual Islamic meaning of it. So let's go back to the Arabic meaning. It comes from the word wahid, which means one. And the actual meaning is the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the oneness. But what is the impact of tawheed? If someone understands tawheed, 2 things come out from him. In short, a lot of people say you need to study tawheed for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. You can learn it in 2-3 minutes. It's just these 2 important matters. Ta'zeem of Allah, making Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala great in your life. You fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have ta'zeem of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, greatness of Allah in your life. And secondly, the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Someone who has tawheed in his heart, he loves Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the first one is tawheed. And we call to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as Muslims, we call to Him directly. Unlike other religions, they might do it through a priest, through an individual. We don't do that. We speak to Allah directly. No one, has a special position where they are like middlemen between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This doesn't exist in Islam. The prophets, the companions, the believers, sinners, even disbelievers, even Iblis made dua to Allah directly. So this is a special privilege for all of us. We make dua directly to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we make dua through other means that are not permissible, our du'as get affected. They're rejected. Number 2, al-ikhlas. From the adab, from the manners of making dua is we do it with ikhlas. Ikhlas to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sincerity. So that's number 2 or number 3? 2, right? Yeah. Number 3 is, from the adab, is using Allah's names. Okay, so when we, for example, say, Ya Razzaq, O provider, urzuqni, provide for me. Ya Satir, ustur alayna. O the one that covers, subhanAllah, this is one of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I find beautiful. That one of his name is As-Satir, the one who covers. So not only does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive sins, washes away the sins, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also replaces sins with good deeds. Not only that, He covers the sins. This is one of the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He covers people's mistakes. This is the rahmah from Allah. Imagine each one of us, has like a data recorded on his forehead of every mistake he did. But from the rahmah of Allah, He covers our sins, subhanAllah. So when we use Allah's names, Ya Khaliq, Ya Rabb, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Ya Ghaffar, Ya Tawwab, this helps with our dua. Because we are knowing Allah, we are praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then we are asking Him for what we need. Okay, and when we say Ya Rahman, O merciful, irhamni, have mercy on me. It's like that all mercy comes from Him. So what you're asking for, Allah can provide it for you, because this is attribute. So you're reinforcing that to yourself. And this is how dua should be made. It shouldn't be made in a state of heedlessness or lack of focus. It should be that literally when you're making dua, you feel like you're in a different world. You feel like no one is around you, just you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is why from the adab of the dua, from the ways of making dua and the manners, is not to ask straight away for what you want. Start with praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, mentioning His names and His attributes, asking for forgiveness, humbling yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by admitting your needs, by admitting your mistakes. Then ask. This way the dua becomes stronger rather than asking straight away, because you took a few moments of reflection, of understanding who Allah is, understanding who you are, humbling yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then asking. And notice Surah Al-Fatiha is like that. It doesn't ask straight away. It says Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. So we start with praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All praises to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then second thing is we say who Allah is. He is Rabbil Alameen. He is the Lord of the whole universe. Remember that exercise we did in the beginning? He is the Lord of all of the universe. Then we say Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. He is the most merciful, the most compassionate. Maliki Yawmiddin. He is the judge, the ultimate judge and the owner of the whole dominion. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Then we are doing ikhlas now. We are saying it is you who we worship, tawheed, alone. And it is you who we seek His help. Ikhlas. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. Then we ask. And what we're asking for is the best thing to ask. Hidayah. If we have hidayah, we have everything that we need. Okay, so number 3, making dua with His names and His attributes. Number 4, praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we are making dua. Okay, so once someone came in a masjid and he said, "Oh Allah, forgive me and have mercy on me." So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, you have been too hasty. Isti'jal, you've been too hasty with your dua. So then he taught him that when you make dua, first start with praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as he deserves to be praised, and then send peace and blessings upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then call upon him. Okay, so the Prophet alaihi salam, he said, when you make dua, start with praising Allah, then sending blessings upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then ask whatever you like. Okay, so that makes us move on to manner number 5 of when we make dua, which is sending blessings upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, every dua is kept back until you send blessings upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the du'as become delayed until you start it with the salam on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the least that we should do when we make dua, we say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Allahumma salli wa sallim ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi, and then ask. So start with praising Allah, Alhamdulillah, and then sending peace and blessings upon the Prophet alayhi salam. Number 6, when we make dua, we should face the Qibla. Now notice that we are calling this adab al-dua, the etiquettes of dua. I'm not saying these are the conditions of dua. I'm not saying that this is wajib, that if you don't do any of these, your du'as are not answered. I'm saying these are the manners of dua that, will beautify your dua, will make your dua more stronger, and it will help with your du'as being answered. Because in Islam we have 3 things. We have shurut, conditions, that is wajib. Without it, your act of ibadah is not complete. So for example, in salah, if you don't do Surah Al-Fatiha or Takbirat Al-Ihram, your salah is missing. These things are wajib. Then there are things that are sunnah. If you do it, it's extra rewards. If you leave it, you're not sinful for it. Okay, so for example, who can give me an example of a sunnah in the ibadah? Come on, Soas. Okay, for example, a sunnah in salah is to read an extra surah. If you don't read the extra surah after Fatiha, your salah is still accepted, but if you do it, or doing wudu 3 times instead of once. Okay, and then there are things that are adab, that are manners, that are just will beautify the action more. So facing the Qibla. And this is what the Prophet ﷺ did, especially during the battles, that he will face the Qibla. Okay, so the scholars said that it's mustahab, that when you make dua, you face the Qibla. Okay, number 7, raising your hands. How do we raise our hands? Like this or like this? Together? Yeah, together. Okay, you can do both, but it's better to, when you make dua, put your hands together, because there's a hadith about this, putting your hands together. Okay, the hadith says, the Prophet ﷺ said, your Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala is kind and most generous, and he is too kind to let his slave, if he raises his hands to him, bring them back empty. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is shy that when an abd raises his hands to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's shy to reject him, meaning he will give him. Okay, and also this shows humbleness for the servant, for us. Okay, number 8, and this one's a really important one. When we make dua, we should do it with yaqeen, with certainty. Certainty that we know 100%, 120%, not 99%, that Allah is capable of answering our dua. And this is a common mistake with many people. I say to a brother, may Allah give you a pious wife, and he says to me, Insha'Allah. Did you know that it's not permissible to say Insha'Allah after dua? How many people do you know says Insha'Allah after dua? Put your hand up. Many people. Keep your hand up if you did it before as well. Yeah, we're not meant to say Insha'Allah after dua. Why not? The Prophet ﷺ, he clearly said, لا تقول اللهم إن شئت. Do not say inshallah. The Prophet ﷺ said, after dua, لا تقول اللهم إن شئت. ولكن قل اللهم آمين. We're meant to say Ameen, not inshallah. Why not? When I say to the brother, may Allah give you pious one, he say inshallah. What does that mean? Sorry? If Allah wills. And what does, why can't we do that? There's no yaqeen. There's what? Doubts. There's doubt. So Allah Azza wa Jal qadirun ala kulli shay. Inna Allah ala kulli shay'in qadir. Allah is capable of all things. So when you make dua, do it with yaqeen. May Allah give you, Ya Anas, a pious wife. Amen. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said that when you make dua, you should be muqineen, meaning in a state of certainty. Number 9, asking frequently. Not just one-off du'as. Making dua all the time. So if Anas wants a pious wife, he should make dua in all of occasions before he breaks his fast. When he wakes up, during his salah, in sujood, after performing a good deed. Not just one-off dua. Keep making that dua until you get it. And trust me, try it. When you want something, dedicate lots of time for a long period of time to make that dua, and it will happen. And even psychologically, the more you think of something and you want something and it's always in your mind and you're always working towards it, you're going to get it. So a person, if he really wants something, he does two things. He makes dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he asks Allah to give him the means that will take him to what he wants. Does that make sense? Yes? Brothers and sisters, are you with me? Because the Prophet ﷺ, he said, اعملوا فكل ميسر لما خلق له. Meaning, do the actions, the Prophet said. Because all of you, your path will be made easy for you, or you'll be guided towards your path to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to be in. So if you keep making dua that you want good grades in Soas University, you're making dua all the time. The means for that, Allah is going to make it easy for you. It's going to come to you. Could be that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send you good lecturers. Could be that the exams will be made easy for you. Could be that the topics are really interesting for you and you're understanding it easily, you're enjoying it, you're spending lots of time. All of this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not from you. Don't think, I'm clever, I'm smart, this is why I'm succeeding. No, because you are making dua, Allah is making everything easy for you. It could be that you have the worst lecturers, and you don't understand a single thing in the lecture, you don't understand a single thing in your textbook, and you're not interested. Allah didn't put that in your heart. You're there, you chose a degree, but you're not interested. So it is Allah who will muyassir. He is the one who makes the matters easy. So asking frequently. Someone went to the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, the slave would receive a response so long as his dua does not involve sin or cutting the family ties, and so long as he is not hasty. So long as he's not hasty. So they asked the Prophet ﷺ, what does being hasty mean? He said, when he says, I made dua and I have not seen any response. And then he gets frustrated and stops making dua. Isn't that common at a time? A brother says to me, yeah, Brother Omar, I made dua for a pious wife and I didn't get it. I say to him, how long did you make dua for? A week. That's not enough. Make dua for a year, 2 years, all the time. Then Allah is going to give you the best wife that you want. Because in the first week, second week, it's not going to be the best wife. So the more, and every day, sabr, brothers, every day is ajr. And this is the number one topic, pious wife. I need to get married. Yeah. Every day you are being patient and making dua. SubhanAllah, could be, because we said dua is ibadah, right? So it could be those 2 years of dua. You're getting so much ajr. And that sabr, and that yaqeen. And still, you still have hope and believe that Allah is going to grant me what I want. Wallahi, that day when you get married, okay, you get married and you're doing aqd al-nikah, the Imam says, زوجتك بنتي قبلت, everyone saying barakallahu lakum wa baraka alaykum. Wallahi, maybe you'll cry. You'll cry out of iman. Your iman is going to be so high. Why? Because you're going to say, subhanallah, ya Allah, these 2 years I've been making dua. It's finally here. You finally answered my dua. Yusuf alayhi salam, he made dua when he was young. When did he see the results of his dua? Towards the end. Allah gave him everything and more. Maybe decades after. And then you can tell from the story of Yusuf alayhi salam how happy he was, his iman, that, oh Allah, he referred that back to Allah, not through his efforts. Ya Allah, you gave me this and that. This is through you, Ya Allah. So likewise, with our dua, we need to be frequent and we need to have sabr. No isti'jal, no express. It could be that the dua will be answered straight away. And it could be that the dua will be answered after. But let me tell you something for sure, 100%. La shak. No du'as are rejected. For the mu'min, if he does it the correct way, no dua is rejected. Imma, either it's answered straight away, or it's answered in a better time, later, that Allah knows and you don't know, or it's given to you in the akhirah as a reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But all du'as are answered. Subhanallah. Lastly, he should be firm in his dua. So do not say, oh Allah, forgive me if you wish. Okay, we covered that. Number 11, we should do it in a state of humbleness, not takabbur, but in a way that is quiet and polite and humble to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and hoping and fearing, because this is the correct balance for the believer. He has hope and fear. Not too much hope that he thinks, khalas, I'm a mu'min, I'm guaranteed Jannah, I could do what I want. And not too much fear to the point where he says, I'm a munafiq all the time. That we should have the right balance. We have hope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so, and that motivates us. And we should have fear, so we fear to sin. Okay, number 12, making dua 3 times. This is from the sunnah. When you make dua, do it 3 times. So you can say, Allahumma aghfirli, Allahumma aghfirli, Allahumma aghfirli, Allahumma irham walidi, Allahumma irham walidi, Allah. Saying it 3 times. This is also from the manners of making dua. And the Prophet ﷺ, when he was praying outside the Kaaba, he was making dua, and he was repeating his dua 3 times. So this helps. And the last manner of dua is ensuring that your food and clothes are halal. Why do I say that? Your food that you eat and the clothes that you wear is from halal sources. Why do I say that? Yeah, Soas. SubhanAllah, do they not teach you hadith in Soas? Is it just like these Oriental sources? Edward and John and... No, قال Allah, قال Rasul. Come on, please. You can tell me why. You answer the question. You're not from Soas, you're from Queen Mary University maybe. Okay, mashallah. Yes, sister. Did you learn this from Soas or from somewhere else? Soas. Okay, mashallah. Okay, the Prophet ﷺ, he said that there's a man who travels for a long distance and he's in a state of dust, and he stretches his hands towards the heaven saying, Ya Rab, Ya Rab, O Lord, O Lord. But his food is haram, his drink is haram, his clothing is haram, and he's being nourished with haram. So how can he be responded to? Some of the scholars, Ibn Rajab rahimahullah and others, they said that ensuring one's food, drink and clothing are halal is a means of having one's dua answered. But when someone has a halal job, his du'as are answered. When someone is working in haram jobs, this affects the dua. We should be careful from that. Many of the prophets, they made dua. Okay, many lessons in the Quran, many stories in the Quran from Isa, Yaqub, Musa, Ibrahim. Many of them made beautiful du'as. Unfortunately, I don't have time to go through them. Okay, when to make dua? Places that are good to make dua during salah. The Prophet ﷺ, he said the closest station between the abd, the believer, the servant and Allah is during his sujood. So when you do Subhana Rabbiyal A'la, Subhana Rabbiyal A'la, Subhana Rabbiyal A'la, spend some more time, make dua. Rabbi ighfirli, Rabbi ighfirli, Rabbi ighfirli, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Or make any dua during your salah. Even in your ruku', Subhana Rabbiyal Azim, Subhana Rabbiyal Azim, Subhana Rabbiyal Azim. The Prophet ﷺ used to say Rabbi ighfirli 3 times. This is dua. It's not from the salah or from what makes the salah, but he used to make that dua during his ruku'. Know that dua is the only means that can even stop qadar, meaning destiny, something that was written for you to happen. La qadar Allah, something like, an accident or something. And that day, that morning, you made dua, oh Allah, protect me, give me good health. And then the qadar is changed. So dua is something very, very powerful. It's something quite divine. Other places or when to make dua, the last hour of Jum'ah, Yawm al-Jum'ah, so before Maghrib, that 1 hour, Sa'at al-Ijabah. And also when the khatib is going to the mimbar, after the adhan is called, this is a good time to make dua. Between al-adhan wal-iqamah, making dua between the adhan and iqamah is a good time to make dua. Before breaking your fast, your du'as are answered for the fasting person. The traveler, when he travels. Al-mujahid, what does mujahid mean? According to Soas definition, someone who fights his soul, yeah? Okay, mujahid, the fighter, the one who's fighting for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his du'as are answered. Not that I'm recommending you guys to go fight. There was an issue that happened last week, 2 weeks ago in UCL. I think I'm banned from there now. Al-Mujahid. Also, Al-Muttar, the one who is needy, the one who is in prison, his dua is answered. The one that is beloved to another person. I love this hadith. That someone who loves another person for the sake of Allah, his dua is answered. Al-Mahbub. Making dua for someone he loves, his dua is answered. The dua of the mother to the child is answered. The dua of the pregnant woman is answered. The dua of a oppressed person is answered straight away, so be careful not to oppress anyone. And dua after doing a good deed. Who knows the story of the 3 men who got stuck inside the cave? We all know it, put your hand up. Yeah, these 3 men were stuck in a cave, and each one made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And after each dua, the rock moved slightly. But they all made dua remembering a good deed that they did. Said, Ya Allah, I did this good deed for your sake alone. And they mentioned one of their good deeds. Ya Allah, if you accepted it from me, answer my dua. So also us, if you want your du'as to be answered, do more ta'ah, give more sadaqah, fast, pray qiyam al-layl. Another good time to make dua is during the last third of the night. SubhanAllah. When everyone's sleeping, the hadith says that Allah Azza wa Jal, He comes down to the lowest heaven in the earth. And He says, where are my servants who are awake, who are calling to me, asking me so I can give them? asking me for forgiveness so I can forgive them, asking me for guidance so that I can guide them. Where are they? So there are special types of people, ashab al-qiyam, those who pray at night. They ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they get so many of their du'as answered. Where are good places to make dua? The masjid, of course, Masjid al-Haram, Masjid al-Nabawi, these holy places. Dua has asbab, it has means. Imam Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah, put your hand up if you heard of him, he said that dua is like medicine. And sometimes the medicine, it responds to the body quickly, and sometimes it doesn't. So dua, it has asbab that makes it stronger medicine, or the response is stronger straight away. What are they? All of these things that we mentioned earlier. We should be careful from, leaving dua. That we are like people who make dua whenever we are in need or whenever there's a problem. We should always make dua in good times and bad times. And my recommendation is make a dua list. Have on your phone notes, make a dua list of everything that you want, everything that you need, everything that you dream of. Write it down. The person that you want to become, the people that you love, the situations around us that you are passionate about, or causes that you are involved in, or the affairs of the ummah, etc. Make a dua list and frequently refer back to it. When you're traveling, open it. You're going on Umrah, Ramadan, before you break your fast, have this and make these ad'iyah frequently. In conclusion, just before that, people make dua in jama'ah sometimes, especially after salah. Have you seen that? Salah finishes, and then the imam makes dua. Everyone makes dua with him. And the one who's not making dua, they go like that to him. I get that all the time. What's the ruling on that? Can we do that or not? Any Hanafis here? MashaAllah. So this, Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, he said that it's fine if it's occasional. So if we make dua together collectively, occasionally, in jama'ah, it's fine. But we shouldn't make it every single time. Because when we make something like a sunnah, we say that this is, some people believe that it's part of the salah. As if the salah is not accepted if you do that. This is when it becomes a bit too much, too far. We say that that's not correct. Especially that we mentioned that dua should be made. So this is a bit of exaggeration in it. In conclusion, the more dua that we make, the more. You want to refute me?
No.
Okay.
After every farsa,
Yeah. Yes. Now, there's a hadith in Tirmidhi saying that the dua after salah is accepted. Now, so this is why the Hanafi imams, they refer back to that. However, that doesn't mean it's part of the salah condition, wajibat. But yes, no doubt, because we mentioned earlier making dua after a good deed. Salah is a good deed. So yes, no doubt. And when we do our adhkar, we are making dua as well, the adhkar after salah. Allah is as-Sami' al-Alim, the all-hearer, the all-knower. He loves it when we call upon Him. The more we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more we become close. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not reject us. And now that we know that it is ibadah, we should increase in lots of dua. One who makes so much dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's never lonely. You can be, in fact, he loves being alone because he's always with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he becomes loved by Allah and he loves Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And wallahi, there is no better happiness in this world that you will find apart from being loved and close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you loving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this happens when we have lots of dua between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. هذا والله تعالى أعلى وأعلم وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. جزاكم الله خير. So this venue, we have to leave it by 6, the same. Wait for them to kick us out.
Continue until if they come in.
Until they kick us out, yeah? Okay, we'll take questions, inshallah. Yes. Jazakallah khair.
I want to ask a question. There's a hadith that talks about a companion who went to the Prophet and he said that he dedicates, I think, like a quarter of his dua to the Prophet and the Prophet said that if he increases his dua to that, then it's more likely that it would be accepted. And then he said, what about like a third and then 2/3, and then what if I could make all my dua sending salutation upon you? And then Prophet said that if you do that, then Allah will take care of your provisions and forgive you for your sins. So how do you reconcile that with making, like if you just make dua, like send salutations to Prophet, how do you reconcile that with just making your own dua by asking something?
No.
I don't understand.
No. Okay, when we are saying Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad, this is dua. This is a dua. We say Allahumma, oh Allah, send peace and blessings upon the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And generally speaking, we should make lots of salawat ala Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we do it during salah, we do it in Jum'ah. We should do it all the time. You know, whenever we have free time, instead of going on our phones or, for a few minutes, say Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Because there are many doors that get opened when we send salam on the Prophet alayhi salam. Like this hadith that you mentioned, that when someone makes dua for our Prophet alayhi salam, for our Prophet, Ya Allah, send peace and blessings upon him. He also said that when you make that dua between the adhan and the iqamah as well, the Prophet alayhi salam asked the companions to make this dua between the adhan and the iqamah. اللهم ربي هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القامة آتي محمد الوسيلة. Give the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam the great station on the day of judgment. So yes, we should be making lots of dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because he is our messenger and he taught us and so on for many reasons. So how do we reconcile between
the hadith says if you make all of your dua saying salutation. So yeah, that's what I was saying.
Meaning this dua hadith means that the more you make dua to Allah for the Prophet ﷺ, the more your needs will get fulfilled as well. No. Any other questions, brothers, sisters? No.
You mentioned that one of the types of du'as that is more likely to be accepted is the du'a that a person makes for someone for Allah, for the sake of Allah. So I feel like a lot of us misunderstand this. What does it actually mean to love someone for the sake of Allah?
No. When you love someone for the sake of Allah, it could mean two things. There's hub tabi'i, there is love that is natural, okay? Someone you like him, someone you don't like him, this is normal. Because the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that we used to be arwah, we used to be souls, and our souls used to roam around, and some other souls, they got along, and some others, they stay away from it. And this is how it is in this world. Sometimes you meet someone just for a few hours, you become close as if you knew each other for a long time, because this is the arwah of the past, they got along before. And sometimes you meet someone, you don't want to, not your cup of tea. But loving someone for the sake of Allah is because this person makes you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This person reminds you of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You being with this person makes you a better Muslim, makes you closer to Allah. And this is why, this is hub fillah. It's not someone he makes you laugh, but he makes you miss salah. This is not love for the sake of Allah. This is not real love. Love for the sake of Allah is you love him because yes, he or she is good. They have good manners, they are good to you, they have a good heart, and this is why you love them for the sake of Allah, or for the actions that they do, or for the impact that they have on you. This is hub fillah. This is love for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
For example, if you are planning to wake up for tahajjud to make dua, but let's say it's for like a worldly benefit, like you want a job or something like that, does that have an effect on kind of your ikhlas? Because are you would it be accepted because you're doing it for the sake of like a worldly benefit? Like you just wanted to wake up to make dua just to get a job, for example. or does that still count as having ikhlas or not?
No. So the dua in Surah Al-Baqarah says, some people say, oh Allah, give me in this dunya only, and then they forget the akhirah. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then corrects what is the right way. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. Oh Allah, give us good in this dunya and good in the akhirah. How do we reconcile? You asking Allah for a good job is for the sake of the akhirah. It should be. Because you want a job so that you can be self-sufficient, you can feed your family, you can use that money for sadaqah, you can use that money for lots of good things. This is why you're asking for a better job. So everything we should ask for from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if it's dunyawi, it should be for the sake of Allah as well. It should be for the akhirah as well. And we should have that balance. Dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana. Did I mention that one of the times of du'as being answered is when it rains as well? Did I mention that? When it's raining. I think it's raining now, subhanAllah. Yes, sister. Did you have a... No.
Is it permissible to make du'a for the other prophets?
For the other prophets? Yeah, we do it anyway. We say, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim wa sallam. We make dua. And whenever we say Ibrahim, we say alayhi salam. Musa alayhi salam. Nuh alayhi salam. What does alayhi salam mean? Peace be upon him. May Allah's peace be upon him. So we make dua for them as well. Yeah. Okay. 2 more questions before they kick us out.
So you don't you make your dua in Ramadan, so make your dua at the time of breaking fast. So I'm sorry, I wasn't there.
Say that again, sorry?
So you don't dua during Ramadan. So when you're fasting, you also dua at the time of breaking the fast. Those are times of dua is accepted, right?
No, yes, absolutely. No. The last question, Anas. No, very good question. Yes, this is a good question. Can we make dua in our own language, English or our own language? Yes, of course. Of course. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم وعلم آدم الأسماء كلها. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who taught knowledge, and part of knowledge is languages. Allah is the one who taught insan languages. So any language he uses to speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah of course understands him. So it is permissible to make dua in any language. Especially if a person finds it hard to express himself in another language, in Arabic maybe, and he finds it easy in English, then this is better to do it in a language that he's more comfortable with.
I think you were asking in salah.
In sujood, in salah as well, yes.
Even
Yes.
the fard.
No, the fard, when we say Subhana Rabbi al-Azim, what is part of salah, this is in Arabic, of course. But when you're making your personal dua during sujood, this is in whatever language you want. Some of the scholars, they did mention, there is a small opinion that it should be in Arabic. Like in the stronger opinion, inshallah, do any language, inshallah. Okay, we're just going to do a dua, inshallah ta'ala. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه. اللهم يا رحمن يا رحيم يا غفار يا تواب يا عالم الغيب والشهادة يا تواب يا ستير. اللهم يا رب العالمين. اللهم يا غفار. اللهم يا رزاق. اللهم يا رب العالمين. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا كلها يا رب العالمين. اللهم كفر عنا سيئاتنا. اللهم تقبل منا صلاتنا وصيامنا وجميع أعمالنا. اللهم اجعلنا من عبادك المتقين الصادقين الصالحين المحسنين. Allahumma kun bi'awnina ya Rabbil Alameen. O Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate, the all-hearer, the all-knower, the one who can see us right now, the one that can hear us, the one who knows what's inside our hearts. O Allah, the all-knower, the most kind, O Allah, forgive all of our sins. O Allah, guide us to the straight path. O Allah, make us with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in paradise. O Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be pleased with us in this world and be pleased with us in the next world. O Allah, forgive all of our sins. O Allah, accept from us our prayers, our good deeds. O Allah, make us from the muttaqeen. Make us from those who fear you and love you and seek your help all the time. Make us from those who are the good doers, and do not make us from those who are astray. O Allah, ease all of our affairs. O Allah, grant us success in this world and grant us success in the next. O Allah, ease the affairs of our Muslim brothers and sisters in Yemen. O Allah, ease the affairs of our brothers and sisters in China and in Palestine and in Syria and in Burma and in all of our Muslim lands. O Allah, unite the hearts of the Muslims. O Allah, guide all of the Muslims to the straight path. O Allah, guide the British people to Islam. O Allah, guide their hearts to La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah. Make them know you and worship you, and make them know our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and follow them. O Allah, make us the people who will bring them closer to you. Ya Allah, open the doors through us and do not make us from those who close the doors. O Allah, send peace and blessings upon our final messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa akhir da'wana alhamdulillah.